I think it's essential to do it. Now, I'm not contradicting what I said earlier, that the acquirer has to have a strategy, but it's also true that as you speak to companies, the acquirer gets educated about the art of the possible. And I think it is very useful to use any relations with big customers to educate them as to why you'd be a good fit for them. Then they have to update their strategic view of the world. That's very different from the PowerPoint, slot it in, opportunity drives strategy. Strategy needs to evolve based on the market. So I'm suggesting that needs some reflection time. But when I think about like the acquisitions I've been on the acquiree side of, we very much did try and educate our partners as to why we were a good fit for them. And sometimes that was obvious and sometimes it took longer. I think when LawTech was acquired by Cisco, we spent quite a lot of time educating, and I don't mean that in any way a patronising way to a company of that capability, educating them as to why we were different from their alternatives and why we were a better fit. So I do think that's an important part of the dialogue. Really, this whole discussion about strategic fit is really saying we do a bad job of strategy in companies and we've got to have that fixed before we start acquiring. With that in place, by all means, you can learn a lot from the startup community in terms of new product ideas and where does blockchain fit in, what could machine learning do for us, but you don't react to that too quickly and you don't react to it as an alternative to strategy. I think it's very much a case-by-case thing because I've seen many, many cases where we accelerated by buying a company and it turned out to be quicker if we just built it ourselves. When you took the full life cycle of, this stuff doesn't really scale, we'll have to rewrite the architecture, all those kind of things. That's not always true. It very much depends on the specifics of, how long would it take you to build it? Realistically, how long would it take you to integrate it and fix the issues this product's got? And that all gets much more definitive and predictable the further down that graph I had of the maturity of the acquired company. If the acquired company is very mature, it tends to say that acquisition is a faster route and safer route. The less mature the company in terms of its tech or its market position, the more that becomes a very difficult question as to should we buy or should we build.